Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson we're going to be learning a piece that's been a favorite for my students over the years, Spinning Song by Albert Elmenreich. Now, way back in Unit 4, you may remember learning another song called Spinning Song, but trust me, this one is much faster and even more fun to play. Let's have a listen. Let's do our usual before we learn a song checklist. Starting off with the tempo indication. What do we have? Allegretto. You remember, allegretto is not quite as fast as allegro, but still fast. Kind of a medium or comfortably fast tempo. Our clefs are usual suspects of treble clef and bass clef. Now let's figure out what key we are in. Our major clues are the key signature. Also, you want to check out the first note or chord and the last note or chord. So pause the video and see if you can use those clues. Print out the sheet music from our website if you haven't already. Pause and figure out what key are we in, and then press play and we'll check it out together. So our key signature has one flat, which tells us that we're probably in the key of F major or D minor. Both D minor and F major have a B flat in the key signature. So we've narrowed it down to F major or D minor. To go all the way, let's look at the first note we play. It's an F. And the last note we play is an F. And the right hand's playing part of an F major chord. So these clues all are pointing to F major as the key that we're in. Our time signature is 2/4, which tells us we'll have 2 quarter note beats in every measure. So before I learn a new piece, once I know what key we're in, I like to play that scale just to kind of get comfortable with any black keys I'm going to be using. So if you'd like, pause the video and you can play the F major scale, 1 or 2 octaves, right hand and left hand, just to kind of get those notes in your ear and in your fingers. Go ahead and pause and play through the F major scale, right hand and left hand, then press play to go on. Now another thing you could do, knowing that we're in the key of F major, would be to go through your score and circle all of the B's to remind you to automatically flat them. That's optional. If you'd like to pause to work on that, you can. Otherwise, let's go ahead and check out the rhythm of the right hand here in measures 3 and 4. Because of these 16th notes, it may be helpful to think in subdivided 16th notes for this. We'll have 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and then notice this tie. This curved line connecting 2 of the same note means we're going to hold that down, going across the bar line, 1 E and a 2 E and a. So putting all that together, let's try clapping and counting this rhythm. And don't forget to hold on that tie going across the bar line. Let's clap and count. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. And then playing that, we'll get 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Note the accent on the and of beat 2. 1 E and a 2 E and a. And the staccato right before that. So we've got slur, staccato, accent, staccato, tenuto. Lots of markings to watch out for. Remember, this flat line is called a tenuto, which gives that note a little extra emphasis, not as much as an accent. So the accent will be the strongest, staccato, and then also strong, but not as strong as an accent. Pause the video to work on measures 3 and 4. Watch the notes, watch the slurs, staccatos, accents, watch the fingerings. Lots to work on here in these 2 short measures. Pause to work on that measure right hand alone, then press play to go on. Okay, so that should be sounding like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. The rhythms are very important, and at a slow tempo is the best way to nail this down early. Don't try to play this fast while you're learning it. You've got to earn the right to play it fast. So start slowly. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Now, what do you notice in measures 5 and 6? We start off the same, 1 E and a 2 E, but now we have a full triad. You'll note that this is a first inversion F major chord. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a. It's a little 5-7 chord. B flat, C, E. Try playing that on your piano with fingers 1, 2, 4. And that's staccato. Then it goes back to the F major first inversion. Try that. One more time. Give it a try. Good. Now put that all together. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Pause to work on measures 5 and 6, then press play to go on. Now, what do you notice about measures 7 through 10? I want you to look very carefully. If you notice this looks the same as measures 3 through 6, you're correct. It's important to check every note. Sometimes a composer may change just one little thing. But if we look at every note, you'll notice everything's exactly the same as before. So let's now take a look at what we're going to do with the left hand. If you'll look through this whole section, the left hand's playing this very simple ostinato. Ostinato is a repeating pattern . That's what we want to get it to at full speed. But at first, you might go super slow motion or even slower. It's okay to go that slow at first. In fact, it's better to go very, very slow the first time you're trying it. Pause and now work on adding the left hand part at a very adagio, largo, slow motion speed. Then press play and we'll go on. Now let's see what comes next here in measure 11. We've got something new. Do you remember the name of this first symbol? If you said 8th rest, you're correct. An 8th rest means half a beat of rest. So we'll have 1 with a rest, then and with this little chord. And you'll notice it goes 8th rest, 8th note, 8th rest, 8th note. That makes a really fun, syncopated kind of rhythm. 1 and 2 and. Now I'd like you to pause and see if you can figure out measures 11 through 14 on your own. I want you to be very careful of accidentals in the music. Sometimes you might see a flat, like right here on the and of beat 2, and you have to pay attention to which note the flat is in front of. Is it in front of the F or is it in front of the A? You can see it's in front of that A, so you flat the A, but not the F. Then look in the next measure. We have a sharp and a natural. Well, where's the sharp? We've got an F and an A again, but the sharp is in front of the F, so we sharp the F, and the A gets the natural. And that's reminding you that we no longer have that flat that we just had before the bar line. The bar line would have canceled that A flat anyway, so this is a courtesy accidental in this case. Okay, and then remember, some notes are automatically flat because of the key signature. The next note is a G and a B, but the B has to be automatically flat. Now, that's all the help I'm going to give you. There are 2 more measures for you to figure out on your own. So watch for all the notes, accidentals, and good luck learning measures 11 through 14. Pause to work on that, then press play and we'll check it out together. Okay, so let's look at this together. In measure 11, we have E and G, and then F and A flat, then F sharp, A natural, then G, B flat. What do you notice about this pattern? If you look carefully at what's happening here, everything is moving up in the chromatic scale by half step. Notice how we just go up a half step, we go up another half step, another half step. That's the chromatic scale. But with these rests in between, it makes it sound really cool. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now you try. Good. Note the fingering. It starts with a 1-2 and then a 1-3, 1-3, 1-3. 1-2, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3. Try it one more time. Go. Okay, then in measure 13, we get on the first 3 notes. And don't forget that the B is automatically B flat because of our key signature. 1 and 2. And watch the fingering. We have a 5-3, 2-4, 1-3. Now you try. Now let's add one more 8th note to the end. 1 and 2 and. Now you try. Good. Then in measure 14 we get 1 and 2. So note the E and G with fingers 1 and 2. Then we get this chord with this B natural, 1, 2, 4, going to this first inversion C major triad. Now you try. Now let's listen all the way back to measure 11. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now pause if you need more work on that. Otherwise, let's keep going. What do you notice about measures 15 through 18? I'd like you to pause the video and see what you notice. If it looks similar to something you've seen before, tell me if it's exactly the same or if there's something that's different. Pause to study that and see what you can find, then press play and we'll check it out together. Hopefully you notice that measures 15, 16, and 17 are the same as what we had before, but then something changes right here in measure 18. We get a polyrhythm where we've got one rhythm with the stems pointing up. The right hand has to play this quarter note with fingers 5 and 3. But on the bottom, you'll notice that 8th rest for 1 and. You're going to bring in that C while you're still holding the E and G on top. 1 and 2. On beat 2, you'll notice that quarter rest says to let go of fingers 5 and 3, while your thumb and finger 2 are still playing these 2/8 notes. 1 and 2 and. Watch that again. 1 and. We add in the C, and then we let go of the chord as we go 2 and. 1 and 2 and. Pause the video and work on that, where you're going to play these 2 notes, add in the C, then let go as you come down to the B natural, B flat. Pause to work on that, then press play to go on. Now, let's go all the way back to measure 11 and look at adding the left hand. What interval is the left hand playing? If you said an octave or an eighth, you're correct. We're going back and forth from low C to bass C. Low C, bass C, back and forth. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And notice we've got a crescendo mark. So let's start soft. A little more, a little more, a little more. Accent, accent, accent. Okay, so that can be a lot of fun. Start with it really slow and then gradually increase speed as you practice. Then let's keep going. And notice that decrescendo brings us back down to the main theme. Okay, pause and work just a little bit on adding some left hand. Don't worry about getting it perfect today. Just try a little bit hands together, however much you want to, and then throughout the rest of the week, you'll keep working on left hand, right hand, and putting that together. Pause to do a little bit of hands together work, and then press play to go on. Okay, what do you notice about this next section, beginning in measure 19? Is the same or different from what we've had before? Here's our A theme again. Let's see if anything changes. So far, exactly the same. And now the only change is right here, the left hand, instead of continuing with that F, C, it just stops on F. Then we have an 8th rest, and then something new begins, which we'll learn in a later lesson. So now we've completed the A section of spinning song. So I'd like you for the next few days to work on practicing this slowly at first. Work in short sections, maybe just 2 measure sections, and then gradually add to it, add to it, add to it. When you're working on a short section, try to get it 3 in a row, no missed notes, before you go on to the next section. 3 in a row, no missed notes will make sure you've really mastered that short section before you move on to the next one. And mastering things in small sections will make it easier to put everything together. And then once you feel like you know all of the notes with the staccatos, with all the articulations and accidentals, you can start working with a metronome. I would start at about 80 beats per minute as your 8th note. It's going to feel quite slow, but that's on purpose. Okay, take your time to get it right slowly first, and gradually you can increase that metronome speed until you're going closer to our final tempo. Your final performance speed is going to be close to 200 beats per minute for the 8th note. But again, it might take you a month to get up to that speed, and that's just fine. Take your time. Great work learning the A section of Spinning Song by Albert Elmenreich. Thank you, as always, for learning with me. It's an honor to be your online teacher. Happy practicing, and see you next time. I love the way the Earth spins.
You do?
Yeah, it just really makes my day.
That joke was revolutionary.
Now you're making my year.